Me up. Lonesome me up. Yes, man. Keep it real at all times. At all times. Right now, with the pan a teaching lesson, you know. So, I big up all Manleyites. Michael Manley Ja. Yeah, man. I big up all Manleyites. Because we are looking for a real prime minister and our country for run. So, I decide to do back something for Manley right now. And by the way, I start it in a unique way. Because Mr. Andrew Holness did criticize Manley. And then make him come say something else. So I start it like this and then I go down in a real people. I way up, you know, or real prime minister supposed to run a country. You know, with the people them in heart and what them do. You know, that the people them a matter of fact, I'm tell them for study. More see what man they take. The man they swear in around February, somewhere around there, 72. And by the next budget, I read, he might tell you when put in a 73 already and where to come. Now everything we put in space are here. Yeah? Real reformer. Statesman, man. Real leader to man. In a little third world country. And them try to get him out. So I salute all Manleyites. Like myself, yeah. Because I was a Manleyite to keep it real. Yeah, man. I remember just big up some people because we know real Manleyites, you know. I big up some people. I have one thing to say before I start play that. You understand? Yeah, man. I have one thing to play before I start play that. Can't take the call and none at all. All right. Hear this now. Wonder Paul. I soon call her back. All right. Mr. G, big up yourself. I'm saying zero now. Christopher. Yankee Blitz. Just don't talk to you now. Dale up. There. Nova up. BCA up. Yeah, man. Bless up, man. Delroy bless. Gloria. Yeah, man. Louise. Yeah, man. Creativity. Andrea. Yeah, man. We also, man. Yeah, man. Bless up, man. So I keep it real. Go on here. Yeah, man. Chin. There. Yeah, so man, we just big up the people, them and real people. Maurice. Empress. Yeah, so man. Me not say Paula yet, you know, but you know, we just go and big up who forget. Big up. Tony. You up? Yeah, man, I have to big them up, man. Oh, hear this now? Ganja Mania. Yeah, man, yeah, so man, there. Durval, me see you. Simone, up. Yeah, so man, straight up. Oh, yeah, so man, it's a family, you know, we keep it real, boy, you know. Wayne, my name Sake. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, Brian, me see you. Yeah, man, Williams, me see you. Hey, where you say, man? Up. Yeah, man. Peace. Blessed peace. Up. Yeah, man. Creativity. Oh, you there already? Delroy, up. Hey, man, you watch a piece here, and I'll show you how some man flip-flop. Right? Olive. Bless up. See? Before me start, you know, hear this. Jacko, me see you. Time to start. When I came over the last live when I do, a few hours ago, me see somebody named Boss Lady. I'm brethren call me from sentence and I say, you know, see what Boss Lady I say? Boss Lady. I said something about long tongue. But when I look on it now, it's like she want to bring pornographic things, some things that pornographic thing to a platform. But me I tell you something now, Boss Lady now. Because you make politics trick you. But hear this now. You see to me is step on the ground. And what me I get to understand when you say about long tongue now. You use the tongue as toilet tissue. And the lane where you live pan, the road after that, and the road them before that, the whole of them man that talk about you. It's what is a sub-polka. Keep that to yourself, not carry it on yourself. Here's the nastiness. So go and try to get your sub-polka detox. But not bring it on yourself. We don't deal with that on yourself. Yeah? So just keep it to yourself. Your nastiness? Okay, you're good. Let me start it like this. Yeah, man. Also, you have to flush them, you know. Because them don't know for themselves. They make the country so bad. You understand? So we never put them. None at all. Yeah. Because I wanted the support for that. Yeah, because fear, she was her mouth like back road, you know. You know, back road on a potent this, and that come here upon the ground. So she bring it on us, so no, man. We live wholesome life, man. Me name lonesome. Yeah? Family moral. So, when you use them out and do like a bulldozer, like shovel and thing, you bring it on us, man. Yeah? You understand? Keep it to yourself. Alright. So I could look on the real reformer now. I could start it like this. Just watch this. Watch this.
Great leaders, political stalwart, distinguished orator. With a deep commitment to economic independence and social justice, Manley began a process of social and economic reform.
A lot of changes have to take place in this country. A lot of changes.
Michael Manley's concern for the family was well known. He heralded the call for equality of the sexes and established the Bureau of Women's Affairs to deal with discrimination against women. December 1, 1974 was historic with the tabling of the Equal Pay Law, which provided that women doing the same jobs as men were entitled to the same pay. The establishment of the family court was another act of great significance. Attendant on this was the Affiliation Act, so that fathers who desert mothers and their children and migrate can be sued for the maintenance of their children. The Equal Status for Children Act repealing the Bastard Act could possibly be seen as the greatest single social achievement of Manley in the 1970s.
When you hear this, I want to listen, you know. I want the man to come show me some achievement different from the Zozo and the state of emergency we run with, yeah? Yeah, man, watch this.
All children, by law, could now inherit the legacy of their parents.
No bastard, no day again. No bastard, no day again. Everyone lawful. Everyone lawful.
The establishment of a minimum wage was a plus for the working class. It stipulated that every man or woman entering into a contract of service must be paid a minimum wage and should not work for more than the prescribed maximum hours without getting overtime pay.
God, first time you never get overtime pay and then give what them want to give. I just them politicians and now push it up to standard. You see this? All right, watch this.
Realize that employment is the most important single objective of government in this country. Because the unemployed is a man to whom freedom is not even a word.
Sure.
Certainly not an idea. At the root of our policy in the future will be humanism, self-reliance, and economic nationalism to create a society of personal freedom founded in the security of the family and a true nation resting securely upon a foundation of economic independence. In short, a society of justice and freedom. I'm going to tell you the thing that is closest to my heart: housing. When a man and his loved one can look at a roof and know that it cannot leak, can know there is a little kitchen where they can cook in dignity, can know there is somewhere they can sit down and break bread together, can know there is a room that they can put the children in, and know that at night the children can go and sleep there in peace. That when you have done that, you have started, you have laid the foundation for Christian life and for justice. In the modern world, the most important of all the tools of mankind is the ability to read and write. Therefore, I am very pleased to announce that the government of Jamaica, commencing September of this year, is announcing a scheme for free secondary education in Jamaica.
So it's when it come in, see the time there, and I'm about to trick on you, know. All right, watch.
We're going further, sir, and that is that for those children that can fight through the primary system fight through the secondary system, fight through to their O levels, fight through the whole of the competition to reach university at the end, to get the final touch on the skills that we need. We are also abolishing the fees of Jamaican students at university.
You have a fees and him abolish those fees. Go up there. Him abolish it. So you hear it from him, you hear it. All right.
The means by which the power will come to the people. Sacrifice now for a great day tomorrow, where we will march together in the name of work, in the name of justice.
All right. So I'm going to show you nothing now. This because we're going on the mandate thing right now, straight. We're not hold up nothing. Yeah? We're not hold back nothing. Yeah? All right. So look on this now. Man, I'm born with every opportunity, everything that go for him. And what him do, him stick to the poor and try to rise them up. You understand? You understand? Try to rise them up. See? Where this Prime Minister do, stand up for the rich, talk sweet to the poor, but nothing like them, you never see them come and put in place. A matter of fact, him say him study Manley. That's why him give him some Manley talking, but him art not with the program. You want me to show you? Look, watch this.
Holness on the late Michael
Hear this.
Statements made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on the late Michael Manley has awakened the fury of the People's National Party, which is claiming that the Prime Minister is trying to change Jamaica's history. The Prime Minister had made the statement at the recent launch of the JLP's National Scholarship Program.
The departure from course during this period of industrialization and industrial development was not due to external forces.
Listen.
It was due to the misadventure of the PNP, which diverted us from the path of economic growth.
Now the opposition leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, is not mincing words, expressing disappointment.
And that was a lie that's again, But that's
Disappointment over the speech, saying Holness was seeking to criticize Michael Manley's legacy.
Maybe Holness doesn't understand the whole reality of the global economy, and one could possibly excuse him for that. But not to understand Jamaica's own history or to misrepresent it, there's no excuse that we can accept.
Dr. Phillips is questioning whether Holness wants to remove a legacy that has crafted Jamaica for what it is today.
Is it that they want to discard the gains made by the Status of Children's Act that ensure that no bastard no there again?
Experts are also of the view that Manley created a foundation that has benefited many and should not be discredited for his work. Khadija Thomas.
All right, so when them came with that, let me show you him flip top again now, Hear the same man now in his speech. Yeah, watch this.
A story. And this is a true story.
True story. Listen.
Today is my birthday. The 22nd of July, 1972 is the year I was born. I'm certain that Mr. Bunting knows the significance of that year very well. That is the year Michael Manley won the elections. In February of that year, I believe. And I was born in July. My father was elated by the victory of Michael Manley. Because, like you and many other Jamaicans, he felt that the message of liberation, of political empowerment, which is described in our vernacular as the Semiticization of our country, that was necessary coming out of colonialism. It was necessary to shake off the colonial mindset.
So Master Mandy message was necessary. I Mandy stand up to them was necessary. Well, yes, still him that burn him just before. Till me attack him and the whole place attack him. That's why we not stop exposing. But me see my attack Mandy, you know. Remember this one. So you attack Mandy, me a Mandy heights. Yeah? I'm saying I don't know foolishness. I mean, I go and burn police and burn something. But for me see I attack Mandy, me know say you're going on a dangerous path. Me have to stop you. Me have to show the people them what you do. You're dangerous. You're very dangerous. Yeah, man. So right now, you want to say, the man go man to do the necessary and right. Just before that, him say, man, I blame Mandy for something what man didn't do. You understand? Yeah.
And to see ourselves as independent people.
Whoa.
Michael Manley said that we will walk on our 2 feet and not on our knees. I, Andrew Michael Holness, firmly believes in that.
Yeah.
So when I was born, my father insisted on my mother that my name should be Michael.
Hear him. Listen.
If he had his way, things may have turned out differently. But my mother insisted that my name should be Andrew, a faithful disciple. And I am here as Andrew Michael. When I heard the furor created when I did not call my godfather's name, and a man who I respect and study his work, and believe still in his mission, I was taken aback.
So you study him work and believe in mission. You study him work because you study to come talk to people right out of the court. Because me hear it. I know you study him work. But you study to use it to trick people. Not to do good. You say what Monday said, that's how I'm going to come and tell you this and that and feed this and that because a man don't listen about Monday. No go talk it him. Do it! You want to know go talk something to me and do me. Tell you from when. You ever hear somebody come and say, "Want me never build this, you never do this, I never do this." Some things me do, me just not talk it. But the amount of people benefit, you go on some kind of way, you think you can't get me out. Can you go on some kind and call me name, some man licking? What am I talking about, man? Some man rushing out to man. I mean name one some man. Me talk things if I mean it, man. So study it, but do the opposite. Use it, catch people. But man, they do it. In real life. Yeah. All right.
I did not respond because it is not appropriate. And we should always, as a country, reserve a level of respect and dignity. Even if we are critical, we do so respectfully.
Man just has a more critical, but yesterday respect. But man, they say walk on feet and do this and it is right. But yesterday they come out with something say you because them tell you say you're popular. I mean I say you never so popular. They might call the blow God. I remember you know mythical God. That means he is a devil. Because mythical God is not a real thing, a mythical. Now you want to be a God, then you're a devil. Yeah man. You understand? Alright, so that one there so. This is when them honor Monday. Just listen, but them same one for them honor me. Watch this.
December 10 would have been the 96th birthday of Michael Norman Manley. Mr. Manley served as the 4th Prime Minister of Jamaica from 1972 to 1980 and from 1989 to 1992. He was also president of the People's National Party. He was honored with a floral service on Thursday. Marlon Samuels tells us more.
In honor of Michael Manley's 96th birthday on Thursday, floral tributes were laid at his resting place at Hero Circle. Among those that laid tributes were Labour and Social Security Minister Carl Samuda. Opposition leader Mark Golding, and People's National Party General Secretary Dayton Campbell.
Mr. Manley was one of Jamaica's most visible figures. Whether you agreed or disagreed.
So it's a very long tongue, this attack, right? Now I hear what you must say. Honorable? Almost dishonorable, okay.
Agreed with his beliefs, ideology, philosophy, or policies. No one can deny that Michael Manley was genuinely concerned about the welfare of the people of Jamaica.
Okay.
He demonstrated his belief in the people's cause first as a trade union leader and then as Prime Minister. The Manley years saw legislation which established, for example, a minimum wage for all workers, including domestic workers. The formation of the Jamaica Movement for the Advancement of Literacy, known then as Jamal, which administered adult education programs with the goal of involving 100,000 Jamaican adults each year. He expanded land reform. He lowered the minimum voting age to 18 years.
He expanded land reform. I tell you long, the government minister this attack. Land reform, right? And I see him land now, them a take away from the people then. When they extended land reform, you know, make him farm the land and then you have rights to the land and all kind of thing. And this them a take away. Make him go on talk.
And he introduced equal pay for women and the introduction of maternity leave.
Michael Manley championed a democratic socialist program in the 1970s and still remains one of Jamaica's most popular prime ministers. He died on March 6, 1997 of prostate cancer. He is interred at the National Heroes Park in Kingston, where his father, Norman Manley, is also interred. Further news on PB.
Okay. So I could just go back to the good. So I make it here when when them not play politics and you have to come up and come talk, you hear what the man do. I'm want to see them record now, I'm see what them do. That want to see, you know. Yeah? That want to see. So we have to play Monday. You understand? Alright. So I could go to the budget, you know. I could go to the budget, 73 budget, right? Can remember 72 in win. So I go to the budget 73, right? And I could hear this.
We are starting for the first time national service in Jamaica.
First time.
We are starting for the first time national service in Jamaica. We feel the great need is in education. We're going to call for the young people to give us a period of time when they get back into the primary system to teach before they move on out into their careers. Once a child reaches 16 or 17, if they, say, fail their O-level exam, we will then ask them to give 2 years, to volunteer for 2 years, to come in and teach in the primary schools while we look after them, which will also give them a chance to try again for their exam, in which case they might then be able to take advantage of it to move on further again. If the child passes the O-level and wants to move on to A-level or some kind of technical training, child will go, but we will ask it to carry the obligation of service. And if it goes right to the end of the university system, so be it. But even at that time, we're going to say, come and teach certain subjects in the technical schools, come and teach subjects even for 2 years in the primary schools, create a revolution in the knowledge of the people by putting our skills that we've got through our secondary system cycle back into the training of more skills so as to bring the light of knowledge and freedom to the people that are being born and grown up. I think it's the most exciting challenge and opportunity for Jamaica since independence. Something to stir the fire of nationalism and patriotism in your heart, Mr. Speaker. The National Service, they asked to give 2 years, mainly in teaching, but also, if people prefer perhaps, with the literacy program, they can help with the youth development program, with the youth camps that are coming on stream later this year, the new type of youth development. There are all sorts of ways in which they can help put back into their country, so that instead of drowning through the lack of resources to create training, we use our own resources that say, let me give back something to the country that gave me both birth and the life opportunity of higher education. Because of all this planning, sir, I'm very pleased to be able to announce something more about education. At the present time, about 2,500 children in each age group move through into the secondary system, and then some into the comprehensive, the technicals, etc. Because of plans already laid, 9,000 of those children will be able, by next year, September, to move into expanded technical schools and expanded secondary schools. That still leaves another 10,000 of junior secondaries with nowhere to go right now. Because of the call for the volunteers and the getting of the secondary schools to give back the training in the system, we are going to be able to revolutionize the quality of the primary education, because as a well-educated youngster that is going in, we're going to be able to release the best teachers to move up the system and strengthen the system inside the junior secondary. And by the introduction of the SHIP system next year, among the 19,000 junior secondaries, 9 of whom will go on to secondary, but 10 of whom will remain, we will be able to give 2 years further training and lift the age of the junior secondary schools from 15 to the age of 17.
Yeah. Okay. So even back then, before him win, the age was just 15, the junior secondary. The secondary, and him live it from 15 to 17. So when them give more time, they said that you can go do your thing and do all kind of things, and him show you from education, earth one free and everything. The man work.
What we're going to do with the 10,000 is to create training in the junior secondaries that is particularly orientated to the needs of the economy. Therefore, that 2 years of extra training in the junior secondary for the other 10,000 will have a heavy vocational bias, strong on work attitudes, concepts of work discipline, and the creation of skills that will be particularly identified by industry as the things of which they are short. We want to see this country can take one thing and lift it out of the quagmire of politics, and let it be us like a beacon summoning the nation to the solution of its own problems through self-reliance. I come back now, Mr. Speaker, to where I began, which was the problem of an age group marching forward. You have, say, 50,000 children of 15, all with their anxious parents behind them. Of the 50,000 children roughly of that age next year, instead of 9,000 with a hope and 41 to face a blank wall, at one stroke we will have lifted it to 28,000 children who will be receiving further training of one sort or another. More than 3 times in one stroke. And the key is national service.
National service. So I could just want to understand. So Monday I try to show them in my budget speech, he must show them why am I doing, you know. Remember, you know, him win just a 73 speech. 72 him win. And he must show you everything we might put in one time. And just 6 years, they sit down right there. So we put in on go pay Zozo, so I fight crime and thing. Them time you're not talking about no fight, not now I do what and what and what. Just win. So when them come and them come with a right, what they call it, right wing kind of thing, and not talk about Castro, them look something for us and come with a bag of foolishness. And come with the 8th election to come do a bag of foolishness. But then can we go through the whole of this, you know? You understand? Somebody tell me. But there's a plate and you to not educate yourself to it. Can't trick me. Right here, Andrew himself sends study manly. So him come talk some manly to people. But him not really mean it. Do a different thing.
The putting back to the nation of what we gain from the privilege of education. When we talk of taxes, I say to the people, I know it is hard. I know it reminds me, I hear all the jokes and fine, you know, the better the bitter, and that's all what makes life worth living. But let me remind everybody so that Here's a very funny thing about life, Mr. Speaker. Many a man has died of an illness because there was not a doctor to prescribe one dose of medicine. And many a man lives in the world today, Mr. Speaker, because there was a doctor that had the courage to say, draw one drop of the medicine. It will taste bad. It will be bitter. But it is the thing that will release you to the better that must come. And therefore, I say, I know the taxes are high. But I say to a person, when you're thinking of your bet, and I hope you win it, wherever you are, whoever you are, think that that is helping to start the revolution again in education, to lift it yet again from where the torch bearers of the past have brought it up to now. If you're drawing on a cigarette, think that it is helping, that either it was going to stay down, or the condensed milk go up, or we couldn't start this great new initiative in education. We couldn't give the chance. We couldn't let the mothers see the whole light of hope dawn for the children of the next generation. Something had to pay.
So the man say either your cigarette, put a look at tax on that, or eat or put the condensed milk. Which man rather put on the cigarette, up on the car. But no go that. When last you see a budget in a Henry Morgan house where them sit down and talk about the children them and the education and make we rise them up and think about the common man. When last you see something like this, them go like a talk about to buy a big vehicle and more helicopters and things and come kill off one people them. Like why idiot and then the big boys them a live big. And me know that with none of them. We stand the ghetto people straight. We not stupid. You understand? Yeah, man, we're not stupid. Now you have some because stupid ass get up people, you know. But we know if you know, detox them brain. Now we not follow them. Because them think. I remember, you know, and I don't some hungry, you know. If you're hungry, I will look something now. Me not burn out the big boys them. We look friend with them and the pan yes, I tell you no lie. No. Poor people can't give me something them now have nothing. Now me my pocket, I tell you know where I go on. Every day me run things for people, you know. Yeah, man, every day me I get different card. Sometimes I feel like I can say, John, no. And we still do this to open them eye too. I notice we're not about nothing. No. Because it's hard when people are going to bed hungry and all kind of little things. It's hard. See? Them not care, them boys not care, them won't go buy a vote. You just go and listen to the boss. Hear this.
And rather than keep along like before, we said, let us be bold now. Let us be brave now. Yeah. Let us take time and destiny by the forethought now, so that we can set tomorrow's generation free. When a person buying a car, sure it had 76% tax before, so now it has 25% more. It's not because you don't want people to have cars, but something has to pay. And maybe somebody buying a $4,000 car, which already has 75% tax on it, maybe, or something around there, and it's another 25%, not as much as was there before. Let them think that maybe that money will be supplying perhaps 2 jobs for 2 people that have never had a job in their lives. And ask yourself, do you love your country enough for that to be worthwhile? And I say so, we talk of change. What is change? Change, sir, is the willingness to look at your system and have the courage to know what is wrong. More is not change. Change is to reorder the values of your life. Change is to have a vision of a new hope for a society. Change is to have the courage to invest something now in sacrifice, so that tomorrow's people may be free. Change is a matter of a vision of justice. And the talk of change, was there change? Let us speak of change. Labor Day was change. People began to feel self-reliance. The people's food complex that is coming is change, because it will bring relief. That is change. Operation Grow is change. The resource system is there for change. The integrity legislation is change.
Hold on them, Father Manley. The least old system, them a change right now, work. I mash down people house offer. Yeah, lease them and them go, them thing and then them hold it. Lease all. You see me I say? Who get them police now, the big company? 25, 50 years. We put them go up on it. Eh? Not the small man again. This designed to uplift the poor. Eh? Hear this.
The literacy program is changed. The recognition of women's rights is changed. The 40-hour work week for government workers is changed. The workers' bank that is coming is changed. The creation of equal status for all children in Jamaica is changed. The law to prevent non-Jamaicans owning our land is changed. The 18-year-old vote.
The non-Jamaican owning our land, right now, they own it like left, right, and center. The man did it stop that non-Jamaican now go hold the land. We are going to own it. See there? This they mash up too. Yeah? Them can just sell it out and pay people about investment. And when you look at tell we about people at Middle East that come own land and we can't own where Scotland have one land. People want to wake up. In a man that could not happen. Them have to go flirt and splurt. Yeah.
The law to prevent non-Jamaicans owning our land is changed.
The law to prevent non-Jamaicans from owning the land is changed. So now them reverse that. I want the piece of rock. But non-Jamaican can just own them, but just have everything people are firing. Now me own this. 5,000 acre and put you off. But if you go and the government back it, man don't know about this. Them can't tell me nothing.
The 18-year-old vote is changed.
Yeah.
Free education for the people is changed.
Free education.
National service where we put back is changed. These are the means by which we shall achieve power for the people and freedom in our time. These are the means. These are the means by which the power will come to the people. Sacrifice now for a great day tomorrow, where we will march together in the name of work, in the name of justice, because the word is love.
So we are going to get a man like this now. Only want this for a man like this with all our internal forces and all kind of things and then chat foolishness. When everything there. Everything, only forgot to record and there. So Andrew jump up and then him come and tell you, oh, him study the man and everything and why him doing all kind of things. The man come in 1 year, him bringing all these things and bringing even more. 1 year. Jano, play this. Monday.
I'm going to wind up now. Winding up now. Let me tell you how wind up now. Socialism has got to be built. Okay. We have to build it like a house. It can't be handed down. Yeah. So who come into socialism for a handout? No. Not so. Okay. It have to be built. And it need everybody want to work. Everybody must have love. Everybody must have discipline. We must keep our cities clean. No socialist would ever drop a piece of dirt or litter in the streets, because the socialist would remember the one coming behind. Only people with a capitalistic mentality would ever dirty the streets. Who have love, who have justice, who have concern, keep your city clean. Make a...
What talk to them kind of way, you know? Only thing we know of police and the thing militarized now, the police force, and be a disrespect, be all kind of like a thing. Nobody not tell you keep the city clean and all kind of thing and talk to them. Hey, boy, let me tell them this, if you keep something locking up, hey, send to the boy, them and open the gate. Them to get charged. Pay them the thing, them man going on the house and all. Break rules. Mash up people off the Prime Minister now. Before for us could do that neither. See? You hear? love, discipline, and all kind of things. You have to deal with justice and all kind of things. You see me I say? Yeah, I'm concerned. Them not have that. Just go and listen. Teach them, teacher.
Tell you what the party must do. The party, our party is open to all. Our party must be first in discipline.
Discipline.
Our party must be first in work.
In work.
Our party must be first in sacrifice. Our party must be first in study. You must study. If you're a socialist, you must study. You must study. That's why we start all the great programs, literacy, so that we can bring knowledge. True knowledge is power. You must read. Them have a book called Manley and the New Jamaica. Who should find a way to read it. My own little book I write for you is you I write it for. Politics of change is you I write it for. To give you wisdom and understanding. Read it. Make group bite and somebody read it and don't discuss it, because you must be first in study. Knowledge is power. My last word is for the role of leadership.
Listen this.
First of all, the leadership of socialism must walk in humility.
Yeah.
Humility. Must be humble. Must be humble. Must always be humble.
Yes, sir.
There is no place for arrogance in the party that I lead.
You hear that, Anjo?
And anybody that is...
That's why I'm talking about arrogance, because they study these things. But when them say to the sketch people, go to my theme thing where I deal with, you know? You understand? The man put in the thing in the stock it, you know? Remember, we live through it. We live through it. See? So I don't like him just talk it, and it never happen. In a one area, so much reforms him come with and deal with. Eh? If you know these things, the man them come talk about boom boom and I give out outside external forces some talking and all kind of thing over. Anybody who sell out Jamaica in a 1980, in a 76, 75, 76 and 80, them should have in the middle of the street. Hey, them should have deal with them. You understand? You can't sell out the country. It's a traitor for your country. And boy, I'm just leadership, want to be prime minister. You have been the foolishness with the guy. And then spread them false propaganda and people still buy it. Like them I eat that. Eh? You don't know better than that. You understand? You know, let me tell you, I'm not busy about parties, you know. You say as long as you have a leader, will come lead. And you do good for the people, them are good. You know, do good. Me have a problem with you. Too much of that. And too much of, you know, the man did that come and take the land and make sure the people them have back the land and who want run him like business. And that vex the big boys, them, you know. You know, they sweet them now because them can get 3,000 acre land free. And then look people to come plant that up. You understand? Look people to come plant it up and give a little or nothing. And them a billionaire. Government shouldn't even not do that. Cut the land and give the people them do like the land with farmer man they do. You're a farmer, you get an acre, get two, and you're a farmer, and go have empty, we take it from you, who have got take it. And self-reliance, can't feed yourself. Keep on crime and violence. No, we rather spend 176 billion, but we have fight crime. Eh? But not fixing the infrastructure and nothing. Me never hear them go at any man and house go talk them kind of way, you know. I be a legislation to go mash up people and things. Yo, I be a slave mentality thing them run going at that parliament right now. That any man can house and carry back. Me know none of them. Them can't tell me nothing. You see me, I said nothing.
The arrogant over the people must get out of leadership.
What do you mean?
The only one that is fit to lead is the one that walk hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, equal with the people, loving with the people.
Loving could have be a man going to parliament and send police and soldier and damn down the place and tell lie. Try gang and do this and gang live there and this and that and hope sorry and want the whole of Jamaica want to take this and that when you in as a prime minister alive and I run as a prime minister you're on there as a prime minister you drive at the people and say come out for the inside Silania we're busy about them we gotta feed yourself and we gotta do this yeah and we're all tied to the poor and black remember you know that man yeah, never have to do him though. Father liar and this and that. So him in the privilege. Stick on them color. But you see them stick with poor people. Walk! And for true. Because I shake them and too. Yeah, I know him. We go him funeral too. The real man there, so not just chat me a chat. See me I say? Yeah, man. Real man there, man. Know the man, him good man. You understand? Give to him policy them to man. Benefit to enough away. All that way I talk about who live to it. I know people are benefit off of it. And tell me what them do now. Come on and try to fling water upon that for. You can't come trick us, man.
That's why I don't want no big flashy motor car. I don't want nobody in my party go with flashy clothes.
Yeah.
I dress simple. And I drive in a simple little car. And Bev driving a simple little car. Because we must walk with the people. The day we think we're bigger than the people, we have no business to lead. Socialist.
Well, the Prime Minister and them cronies, them feature them bigger than the people. I mean, that's how we give them the job. You wear simple clothes, bush jacket. Me used to have bush jacket to my old man. Used to have bush jacket. We used to wear simple clothes at speed. Because you wear simple clothes. Lead by example. See? Them no. 2 range. When I live like my president, 2 range. How much one of them there? More than maybe 40 million Jamaican for one of them. And we say 2 range coming with Andrew the other day. 2 range. Oh, you have 2 range and then how much deep and all you feel is a third world country, for Christ's sake. Them time a dollar for dollar. Yeah? And money load don't know a 150 to 1 with that sink, it mash up, and you drive 2 range. And a bag more vehicle and every time when I go, evil. Because these things are one for cut back when I build 2 look letter, 12 million. And then people for stand back and look and you have to make eat that wanga got, wanga belly nasty. Hey, me tell you for go to you, man. Hey, so me a talk, me no want, that's how me born them, me no want put them, Yeah, man, we are talking about me not fear Eden, man. Me a real warrior, You think, hey, let me tell you. Hey, me tell you some traumatized, but never put me, Go on here, So you talk about, man.
Walks in humility with the people.
Yeah, man.
If you're a socialist, you must have love and concern.
Yeah.
And if you're a leader, you must stay close to the people. I said to the leaders of socialism, stay close to the people. When the people are worried and unhappy, don't run away from them. Stay close like a shepherd. Give them love. Give them care. That is socialism. The leader in socialism must know so that he can explain. He must understand so that he can lead. He must inspire by example. And above all, he must have integrity. 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 Only honesty can lead the people in socialism.
Show me now on a pint and tell me, pint out the government and show me honesty, Pint and show me now, Yeah? You see me I talk about? If this set from them time, and then right now we see one man come out, say him have nearly 2,000 acre up there, so don't know send to this guy, then them a push for people and tell about this and that. This a foolishness. Them man a set the example and set the blueprint for we follow. After we come out of it, we get the little independence and go on. And instead of we follow that, what we do? I lead myself astray and do all kind of foolishness and I follow where some people are say, go study, man, the history is there to learn about it, man. Yeah? If you don't know, can we leave it?
Therefore, my comrades, let us build together. And I call upon you now, in the name of the Father, in the name of God, in the name of Allah, in the name of Jehovah, in the name of Jah, to sing with me our hymn that we are singing now. I give you the words that you must sing. Onward, Christian socialists, marching us to war with the cross of Jesus going on before. Onward, say it with me. Onward, Christian.
The man I tell them, call out, everybody not leave out, nobody neither. Whether Jesus, whether Allah, whether Jah. See that CIA and everything, because back in the days, remember, Rasta get trim, Rasta rising in the 70s. Bob Marley start not up in the 73, 74. Just go look back. Rasta rise in the 70s, couldn't rise in the 60s. Not early, because you know what them are get. Yeah? That's why I see so much Rasta singers and everything, so boom, bam, bam. All these things people don't realize. You see what I said? Yeah, you see me I said? Say the man come said some things where them not said. And them try to tear it down and yes, still the truth is there. Look, outside forces try to stop a man because them fight for South Africa for our own black brother and sister what Mandela them did I go through. And them talk about it. A matter of fact, hear that? Me not talk. Hear that? Look at it.
It's a non-negotiable item on our agenda. We start from certain positions of principle. 1, Cuba is our nearest neighbor. 2, Cuba is a member of the third world like us.
Okay.
3, Cuba fights at our side for changes in the world economic system. 4.
So you fight for change in the world economic system, not to be a puppet. Because I don't believe to be a puppet for the world, you know. I don't care, you know, because I might not be it right. I believe in them kind of living. You understand? I don't believe in you bow down to some people because I don't believe in that. I believe in equality. See? All right. So Cuba, they want to vex with Cuba. They want Batista, where you want name. And Batista have to lift up. Can't make him lift up. And then you find an embargo drop on there because, you know, the big people then, we jerk them up. So you have friends with Cuba now, them want to boycott you too. Yeah? It's bad. And then you have some people follow, yeah man, you couldn't eat. When they never ban, the guy when they ban, and I know said the world 70 smooth. That happened in 1980. When people have to use debris on a black road and do all kind of make things, yeah? Not even the 76 election, like the 80. The 80. Yeah? When like 890 people, 89 or something people, they need 900 people. See? When they walk and do all kind of things, see? We live through it, brother. Them not tell about it, we live through it, yeah? All right. Just listening.
We find Cuba the most principled country to deal with. They operate on a basis of respect for sovereignty and non-interference in other people's internal affairs. They have an internationalist policy that if you say to them, come and be my friend, we think you have certain skills that are interesting. We think you've done certain things that are interesting. We would like to have a look at what you've done. Would you like to cooperate with us in a field? They say, fine. If you don't want to cooperate, they say, fine. We have long since understood that they are on a particular path of development that is obviously massively supported by their people and which is a product of their objective circumstances. Their revolution arose out of the horrors of one of the worst tyrannies the world had ever known. And a lot of their experience is conditioned by that fact. We are a totally different thing. We had a different kind of society, different traditions. We had a functioning plural democracy. And we're on what we call our democratic socialist path of development, which has certain points of similarity with theirs, but very substantial points of difference with theirs, and we respect each other. But even more important than all of that, and this is what is non-negotiable to us, Cuba is a legitimate part of the world and this hemisphere. And it has one of the most legitimate governments in the world because legitimacy is a function of popular support and nothing else. Nothing else legitimizes except the people. And no country, in our view, no country has the right to impose sanctions upon Cuba or any other country that has legitimacy. To us, therefore, it is non-negotiable that Cuba must be accepted as a full, free, and untrammeled member of the world community and the hemispheric community. And if that is not so, we can't make it so. I don't say this in arrogance. I'm talking about what we stand for, not what we can make happen.
Yeah.
But what we stand for, we will not move over, and we'll pay any price for.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking at it from a practical point of view, you could say this. If you can do that to Cuba because somebody doesn't like the Cuban Revolution, then how do I know that you don't do that to me tomorrow? Okay.
Big question. Caribbean. So if only it can mash up for them house. And you depend on the land, only know say not gonna do it tomorrow to Uno. Whether or not JLP, PMP, or no P. Just say the land belongs to the people of Jamaica. Eh? Same thing man they ask. Same thing me they ask. Let me play it back again. So you see them do to Cuba, you know them not do it to you tomorrow. Them do it to him. Him did right. Yeah, himself them do it to Cuba, or know them not do it to him. You think he might eat that? Him not stupid.
You can do that to Cuba because somebody doesn't like the Cuban Revolution. Then how do I know that you don't do that to me tomorrow? That you don't like something that I do?
Would you say then that this is a reason why you are dissatisfied with the absence of sanctions against South Africa while there are sanctions against Cuba?
It does not. Well, I'm not an easy person to embitter. But
yeah, honestly, I'm not an easy person to beat up. Yeah, with that, with the house. Exactly. Yeah, with it.
that makes me as near to bitter as anything in the contemporary world.
Yeah.
It's something that I said in Maputo, actually, at a conference to which I was invited this year, that it really is a tragic commentary on human values in the world, that there are still sanctions against this really very brave and brilliant social and human experiment which is taking place in Cuba. Even if you don't agree with the methodology, it's a remarkable experiment. And you can leave sanctions against that country and apply not one sanction, well, they're now talking about an arms embargo, but not one economic sanction against the ultimate leper of the international community, South Africa.
You hear that? Not even one sanction. And look what them that do to black people and things. The man has stand up for one black people. You have our people then. I use party and I say, man, they do this and man, and remember the whole cemetery run good. 80 election, we will find the little thing. Them try the little thing 76, no go through. Them find it 80 to do riot, to do all kind of little foolishness. Yeah, man. Saying, hear this. Talk about the sentence.
I think that one has to distinguish two clear things. Firstly, the city of Kingston, like many cities with problems of unemployment and poverty, has always had a tendency to violence of the kind that you would find certainly in many North American cities, set and off balance and that sort of thing. And definitely, therefore, there is a political element has crept into the situation.
Well, why would the opposition party, I presume you're referring to the opposition party, there are only two parties running.
Yes.
And why would they go to tactics of that nature? Don't you think it would harm them more than do them any good?
Well, I think that the whole thing, you see, has been, I think, rather cleverly managed. Our political tradition has always involved, again, a very marginal element of violence, although it used to be in the old days just fist fights and the occasional brick and things of that sort. And recently what has happened, as I say, is to introduce into this tendency a certain element that I think is borrowed from the underworld. And I think this has been done by certain elements quite deliberately to cause a certain panic in the society, to give the impression that the government's not really in control. And of course, sometimes, as happens when the violence starts on one side, you get reaction from the other side. So in the end, you get a confused situation in which the average citizen may think, well, it just seems to be both of them at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that one gets a cloak under which really to work the plan.
In driving around Kingston, we noticed a lot of signs saying Castro go home or CIA go home. There seems to be a Cuban-American involvement in this. Now, how much influence do these countries have on this political scene at this time?
They don't, neither country has any general influence in the Jamaican political scene. What has happened is that because the Jamaican government has had a policy of friendly relations with Cuba, very like the Canadian government, who have always had a tradition of friendly relations with Cuba. We have been charged by the more right-wing extremist elements of our opposition with all sorts of propaganda in what has really been an orchestrated communist smear tactic. Very unfair. We are not communist. We are very much a sort of social democrat group, democratic socialist group. And these smear tactics have been worked, which accounts for the Castro go home kind of slogan. And then, of course, there has been a certain tension in certain elements in the United States of America about our relations with Cuba, as indeed there is tension in America towards Canada's attitude towards Cuba, as you know, is not approved of by the State Department. And so somehow all this has got escalated into a series of charges and countercharges.
Well, is there some financial involvement, say, from the Cubans to your government and from the Americans to the opposition?
Listen, no.
Well, I can't speak for the Americans with the opposition. There's no financial involvement between the Cubans and us, none whatsoever.
The Cubans are investing here, though. They're like building a school.
Well, that really was a gesture of solidarity. It's very much a, you know, there's a new thing emerging in the Third World, where Third World countries often do things for each other on a cooperative basis, in a manner that I think is quite new in world experience and very interesting. We, for instance, are helping them up with no charge at all, with some things that we think we are quite good at, like tourism. We send teams for no charge to help them organize their new tourist industry. And also we have been one of the countries here who has, I think, shown courage in standing up for Cuba's right to be accepted as a normal part of the Latin American family. And I think that they appreciate this, and as a gesture of solidarity, offered to build this school as a sort of reciprocal gesture, which of course became a subject of propaganda.
Yes, why would it be so touchy, though, for people to take pictures of a project like that?
Well, you see, because they've been, the fact that they're building this school has been the subject of a lot of unfavorable comment in the American press. Right-wing elements in Jamaica have been very nasty about it. And they, after all, you know, have a very unfortunate experience.
So the same GP Pastor College or Uzemati school where them are used right now, it's the benefit of the same way. These GP Pastor do a lot of things, people train, they do a lot of things and everything. Them say them go train Cuban about them tourism without a cent, and then them come and do this. Right now Cuba still help Jamaica. And you them as a communist, I'm going to show you something about them. Let me play out this.
To the CIA, as I'm sure you know. And they have had their own embassy.
Yes.
Yes, in recent times, for example, their embassy has been attacked twice here by extremist right-wing elements. And I think that this tends to make them very sensitive and therefore touchy, as you said, touchy about the situation and very careful. And, you know, with the state of emergency on, they would be particularly, I think, cautious at this time.
What about Canadian investment in Jamaica? I understand it's about $300 million. And with the swing toward socialism or perhaps eventual nationalization, what sort of situation are they in now? Is it a precarious thing for them, or?
No, we have very good relations with Canadian capital generally in Jamaica. We've found them to be good corporate citizens. The banks, by and large, cooperate with the government very well. We really haven't had any problems in that. And with one of your major investments, of course, which is the Alcan operation here, we, as you know, are in the middle of a major revision of our whole bauxite strategy, because this is our critical basic resource. It's the one really big thing we have going for us, apart from tourism. We have our people, we have bauxite, and we have tourism, and we have sugar. And our negotiations with the Alcan group to work out a new relationship between them and the Jamaica government are going very well, and I think are getting quite near to an amicable settlement.
One of the, I should have asked this along with the first part of the interview, but one of the reasons I got for the, if I may call it, terror and unrest here was the unemployment factor, and the fires and things that have been going on in a very poor area. Do you feel that perhaps it's because of these poor people and the unemployment rate that has...
No, absolutely not. Absolutely nothing to do with it at all. What that does is to create a tense situation. But the actual terrorism is manipulated. And it really is very easy to demonstrate this, because Some of the problems that we have had have been small groups of gunmen who operate from quite expensive Toyota cars.
Yeah.
When you own a Toyota car and the three of you work from that, I don't think you really are poor. But what the poverty does, as I say, is to create an atmosphere that can be exploited and manipulated by anybody who is ruthless. Where the unemployment is concerned, for example, with all the tremendous world inflationary pressures that have hit a little country like Jamaica so hard, and now with the economic recession that hit us so hard late last year and earlier this year, in spite of all that, we've actually reduced unemployment slightly. Not as much as we would have liked, but we have actually pulled it down a couple of percentage points.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that these poor people then in Trenchtown and other areas are being used?
Oh yes, as far as this is concerned, there's no question that they're being used. Mm-hmm. No question at all.
In regard to terrorism on the island then?
Well, it's not really terrorism on the island.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. What about the tourist situation?
No.
Is it safe for tourists?
Absolutely safe. It is, although it's a very unpleasant situation, it is our good luck, in a sense, that all of this has been restricted to the urban ghetto area, an area where we are pushing massive housing developments right now within our very limited resources. We really are working very hard and building thousands of houses a year now for the poor. But it's a huge battle to overtake.
Yeah.
Overtaken in 3-5 years.
You can't overtake it in 3 to 5 years, and I'm just coming, but I build thousands of houses to the poor because this is how him come and take. Cause them never have nothing. Nothing never set him come set some things. And like the NHT now, them are rate the bar now.
Huge task.
Yeah.
But the violence itself and the manipulation of it is very much a phenomenon in the western part of Lower Kingston, where the bad concentration of poverty is.
The emergency powers, politically, will it help you or harm you?
Well, we haven't really thought of it in those terms because basically our objective in the state of emergency is to do with the state of the society, its confidence, and its economy. The violence was beginning to break the confidence of the Jamaican people in their own society and therefore having a very bad effect on the economy. And we are determined by the use of this admittedly extreme measure to create an atmosphere in which the Jamaican people begin to recover their self-confidence in their society and begin, therefore, to act in a dynamic and buoyant way in their economy. That's really what our objectives are.
Is it working?
We think it's working very well. We're very pleased with the results.
What are your chances in the next election?
We'll win.
Are you sure about that?
Well, let me put it this way, to say that you're sure always sounds arrogant. What I really feel is that, we have done a tremendous amount for the poor, for the people, in spite of the pressures. We've got a very powerful organization. We've got very solid mass support. We're very strong among small farmers and groups of that sort up in the hinterland, actually the part of Jamaica the tourist doesn't get to see. And we feel that the people understand us and we understand the people.
Always don't leave out the people. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, they're a founding father. But you should have said, go to Parliament every day and we just for the youth, them and about fight this and fight that. Nothing. Infrastructure now fix. The road stinks. Patrol, everything. I want to make budget feet every year. I want to do pocket it. Yeah? First time I never used to stay so brother. Place never have flood on them stay. I can't tell you that. When I ask, wonder what a bigger man for we know, So I like, and you make a look up thing and then you come back and come talk and there say, eh? That me I try to show you. Remember this? Hear this.
Even down in Jamaica, I'm skipping, they tried in 1976 to organize a military coup to overthrow Michael Manley. In 1976, they supported attempts to assassinate Michael Manley on 3 different occasions. The little man who led Jamaica, who spoke at Savior's Day, was such a threat to our government that they attempted 3 times to assassinate the man in 1976.
You know you yourself?
So later, they found a way to get rid of him through riots in the street over food. when they cut off assistance to Jamaica. This is America.
You can use outside forces and then fight and do all kind of things and then use it and do like about Cuba and all kind of thing. You know it happened to you. But then nobody do them thing, the man said a country like that. You can't do it to no country neither. No country not stand for that. You understand? Yeah? You don't play them kind of politics, them, man. You don't do that, man. You don't wait nobody will play them politics, the brother. See? And then destroy our country for the better. And every time when they draw back on something that couldn't live through the time. Live through the time like when you can't trick me. Nah, man. Me and the opposition. And we are holding accountable. I mean, I just talk. We bring it to the people, they make them see it themselves and hear it from the person they mouth themselves and see what they go on and everything. And then can go do them own research. You understand? Do your own research. Yeah, man, they better off. Do your own research. The man, they tell them come up at the inside and them thing there. You know. Him do it. Him tell them. You understand? See what the man say, yeah? I'm going to play it again. We have alter the balance. See it, yeah?
Hear me! I have altered the balance of power in Jamaica in favor of the black and the poor. And I have no apologies to history. You walk with a pride today you never had before because of my work, and nothing will turn that back in Jamaican history. Nothing will turn it back. Nothing will turn it back.
So which one of them are talking about the black and the poor right now, man? Eh? Which one of them are do this? Them not do it, man. Them not gonna do it. Eh? You can't tell about my barn and going at this and my barn and going at that and this and that and then we look. And the pay big boys. Nothing I said for the youth them. Nothing. Even the people them who couldn't read and write. You have Jamal. You have skill centers. You have AMC. Boss them I run right. JOS. I run nice. See me, hey, let me tell you this. The clinic. When you go to clinic, it used to have ambulance around there. And you used to have dentists, the part for dentists. Pick a number, you have doctor clinic. You know, I forgot the hospital, you know. Doctor their clinic, you know. They must teach them how to do them things here, you know. How much nurse I work at clinic, you know. Baby mother, you have the part for the baby mother, the maternity part. Clinic. Like run a range. Clinic. You have the post office that are run nice and everything. Yes, everything gone. Yes, everything gone. But we're going to turn Jamaica in a first world in a 2030 vision. I feel bad. Yo, I want them to tell me some man. And I mean them to talk to man. Eh? You see what I say? Yeah, man. You remember Norman Garden? You remember the clinic on there? You remember we have dentists on there and everything too, don't it? Not you all. Eh? Yeah, man. See? Yeah, man. So, none of them not come now. You look them on got tell us something and people are run up and down. No, so you have to respect the people, them man. I remember showing you something. Then they talk about communists. You want to know about communists right now? See the where name Lapid, where name? Oh, you remember? All right, good. See who say communists at Jamaica? I'm telling them. I just play it for them. I'm
the CEO of Digital. The Chinese are listening to my mobile phone conversations that I have in Jamaica.
And it's us now.
What do you think her answer would be? What do you think her answer should have been or should be? Her answer was, we know.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that the telecommunications is so high secure in your intelligence and in your personal life that anything going over those lines, be it by your credit cards, your banking, your voice, is going over those lines. So when she said we know, I thought she would deny it. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you deny it if I was sitting there? If I was, I'd be denying it. I'd say no, that's not true. We monitor that.
So you hear him? At the embassy that is the US. Then him? Yeah. One of them, but yeah, man. Him before he must leave out. And one of them guys from US, right? You hear me say?
You stunned by that revelation?
Was I shocked by that?
Yes.
No. That's why I presented the question.
When was this? And when was it?
She, in fact, she's not the CEO now. This was probably 8 months. So I was here maybe about 6 months, 6, 7 months.
Into your tenure?
Pardon?
6 months into your tenure is when this happened?
Yeah, when I had the conversation with her.
On what basis?
What basis?
On what basis you said to her that your conversation was being listened to?
I just said to her, just off the cuff, of knowing that they were Huawei, you bait me? Like you bait me with questions? I said to her, I know that the Chinese are listening to my cell phone.
You think Jamaicans?
Yes.
Our conversations are being listened to by people in other countries, China, wherever else?
Yes. And I think the information that you had that came out when we talked about the Chinese monitoring all the telephone, the conversations and intelligence that are flowing, it flows through what? It flows through telephone lines and cyber security lines. All this information goes. Now, when you asked the question about why we are concerned, I don't see, and I'm going to criticize you all, from the standpoint that you don't report what you are reading coming out of China. Just 2 days ago, an article came out about the person that actually talked about, and this happened to be a journalist that said about the hospitals being overrun by Corona-19. The president of China said to his army, be prepared for war. Be prepared for war. You didn't report either about the Sweden, and the Swedish government is very quiet. You never hear anything about Sweden. But the president or the prime minister of Sweden came out and said the worst danger to Sweden was China. They have barred the 5G, the Chinese, of any Huawei equipment in China, in Sweden. And he made one interesting comment that really should resonate to everyone in the world. The president of China said, prepare for war. You should be prepared for war. Could you imagine then, especially Jamaica being so close to the U.S., the data under Chinese 5G, just think of that.
All right.
If you're transmitting around the world, when you're looking at Europe that's going with the 5G, you saw that England went with the Huawei, then reversed themselves and came back and said, we are not going with Huawei. Because the fact is, you're transmitting intelligent movements of troops to a country that you might be at war with. This is a free world.
All right, you don't hear that though. Me telling you, say, them are the spy in my country. Now, me just play Talapia away in one name, right? Yeah? Me just play him, right? Just before him leave the ambassador, right? Me just play him, right? Yeah. See? See name, yeah? Yeah? And they might tell you, after the thing come out, they might prepare for war because there are so much people are dead over there and they know say to escape from them place. You can't have the Huawei thing. Me tell you, say, a base spy going to Jamaica. And the government have put more foot. But yes, in a fight against Mandela as a Castro and Castro as a doctor. And the ultimate leper, we're real communists. We don't fool it up with more than 200 Chinese in there and nobody not paid my mind. And not say nothing to the government. I take on a job and everything. Bill, a matter of fact, at China, Bill, the foreign affairs office downtown. And why it? Nobody know I'm going to that. Nobody know how to chat to them in that. And the Huawei phone, nobody must take all them thing there. Me no know what I'm to these people. Yeah? You understand? They are going to listen to you and them, for them communication, they take that and if you are war with them, then they can sabotage you. They're not going to listen when you move. Eh? They have software going in Jamaica. We're not stupid. But you see them come to Master man, there are enough of them agents in Jamaica right now. You see it? I tell them the lie, man, them have to know all these things, man. It's one of the greatest Prime Minister this walk on the face what you talk about, man. On Manley, man. Yeah? And I'm gonna try go around that too. Hear this.
Sunday, September 19, 1976, a never to be forgotten day in Jamaica's history. As the sun.
Hear this.
Sunday, September 19, 1976, a never to be forgotten day in Jamaica's history. As the sun blazed down on the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica, tens of thousands of people came together in unity and love to pledge their solidarity with the People's National Party and democratic socialism. They came from remote villages. They came from towns. They came from the city. Snow cone vendors, teachers, impact workers, doctors, lawyers, small farmers, factory workers came to take part in the public session of the 38th Annual Conference of the People's National Party. The historic session was planned for the National Arena. From the night before, comrades began arriving in buses and trucks. Many set up makeshift beds outside the arena, and in the wee small hours of the morning, coal pots were aglow as camping comrades prepared an early breakfast. Long before starting time, the arena was full and overflowing. PNP River had come down from bank to bank. And when the gathering of comrades overflowed outside the arena and...
You want to hear this?
Makeshift beds outside the arena, and in the wee small hours of the morning, coal pots were aglow as camping comrades prepared an early breakfast. Long before starting time, the arena was full and overflowing. PNP River had come down from bank to bank. And when the gathering of comrades overflowed outside the arena and into the street, the meeting moved to the National Stadium. And what a lesson in discipline and unity it was, as groups of comrades moved as one to the strains of old party songs. It was a day of rejoicing. It was a day of comradeship. It was the fourth day of the most successful party conference Jamaica had ever seen. Many comrades and friends representing our brothers and sisters of the progressive world came to share in the glory of the socialist movement. They brought messages of inspiration and solidarity. They left full of hope for Jamaica's future. The National Stadium became alive with singing and cheering as comrades hailed the comrade leader of the People's National Party, the Honorable Michael Manley, Prime Minister of Jamaica. And he spoke as he never spoke before. His was the voice of the people, expressing our struggles and our hopes for the future. Hearts were full as 40,000 comrades rededicated themselves to the building of democratic socialism. We were one with our leader as we pledged that we were not for sale. And as we said with great meaning, we know where we are going.
Yo, when you play them things, you understand what we are talking about, you know. Bank to bank, 40,000. Them come and keep one thing a year. Doctor, nurses, teacher, this, everybody come out. You ever hear them thing, they ever see them thing, you know? You don't see that. But why? Outside forces want to stop that. And then paint something, but you can't paint something about them. We're not stupid. But no, them have real communists. I just spy in our place, I spy upon US and I spy upon Europe. With them, wow, we are not do all kind of thing. We don't have foolishness. We not West. We not do that. You see me, I say? You understand? So you have real prime minister stand up for poor people, the voice of the people, and I work for the people. In space of 1 year, put in so much thing in a place, Andrew, where you put in a place. You can't show me one thing. You get up and talk something when it make no sense. Because we can just break them apart and show you why it don't make no sense. And if you're going to use the same thing a man they put in the NHT and say, boy, I'm going to build 70,000 houses. I'm going to tell you, say, if you build 70,000, number one, nobody have no money to buy the house. You take the NHT and build their house. Spend around 2 billion up this upon the root vent towers. It's a white elephant that a hack pen. And you know, I tell me, say, if a 78 or 80 boom, you have some people who are a million in a Jamaican term, and the whole of them are packed up in a one little place like that. Them are one in space. I'm not buy it. I remember teaching them because police that can't buy it neither. Cannot. So that is a white elephant. That's a big mistake. Me not even ask. But this is how you not check for poor people. In a this, I play a part of this. Remember one play this. I play a part of this here. Michael and the honorable Michael Manley Ja tell them to come off of the hillside and see we go in the land. See it here. And like when I slave, when I run go up in the hill. You understand? Him do these things, when I take it back from the people, when I sell land to outside people, when I have one little place we have. What happened to the kids and the grandkids, them and all kind of little things. Other people took over place. I always see we can't go again, no beach, nothing. And the people them sit down and make una do these things and a line in a pocket. When you go in there, una pay. Number one, not business about the people. Because if you're really business about the people, them big car that we see now driving and them big Jeep and them boat in our government, they're gonna USA and them big country. It's a third world country, you know, we stop cash in certain little things and certain little things. You can't buy so much vehicle over how much 100 million when alone are driving. The vehicle alone when are driving right now is government, but for more than a billion. We are talking about more than $1 billion worth of vehicle now. I don't even ask. Because the Prime Minister fleet them alone have a couple $100 million. I don't ask. And then everybody have a fleet and all kind of things. So billions. Meanwhile, people hungry can have fine food. Staple food, when I Sunday, chicken back, that every can buy a pound. Man, I take 85 million the people for market me. I teach you healthy eating, me and have no food to eat. So when I take people to eat that, they study Monday and come talk Monday and I do people, them all kind of things and people run up to you and I realize that them that study Monday to them that's Monday I study. Naive man. Stand up for poor people and people want to stand up for themselves and stop make them trick on them. Yeah? Stop make them trick on them. Can't go in my head, you know. I burn them, you know. Yeah, man. Come and say me a man there, I burn them, man. See? You there. Chicken back expensive. Right now, much people hungry and them not have no dinner right now. It's like them are looking at space. If them have look up flour and some butter, that them are eat. People in their country go dig piece of yam now get something and go, that them are eat. That them are satisfied with. And I think about tomorrow again and all kind of thing. You know nothing to eat. You know nothing. You understand? They not eat nothing nutritious, you know. So all them are just a little, we just catch up in their belly and say, boy, I eat something and drink a pot water. Man a super yet and them thing they want to get 3,000 acres and them all them hard to, you know. Them even say, no, don't do that. You know what you gotta do now? You gotta do this boom bam bam and give back to some of them people, encourage them to go farm and things, make them feed themselves, make self-reliance and make them be them own boss, man, and and then when they take it to our save them people are plant that and them people are plant. You know do that. You know want to be them boss and pay them when you want to pay them and when you done rich already. We can't have them people around me, man. When they're not around the people, them man, be arrogance, man, and disrespect, man. Man, talk to people anyway. Them talk to journalists anyhow. Man, I want bridge, you say? I want bridge? Yeah, you say, man, come on. One say, where come them about water power? Go call water commission. Them kind of look foolishness there. And them a minister. Not even reporter can talk to them. For the rich and famous. And they have the look nasty piece of thing about his name. Bossy, what name? Bossy what? Bossy something another. Bossy filter something. No, you know, I talk about long tongue. But you see through that now, when they find about name Bossy, we told come off and then put on something on that. So two we used upon the gun, we used to Bossy, where she want name. Bossy piece of filth. You know, use a mouth like a sepulchre, like back road, and have a tongue there, yeah, man, and lick every ass wet, but yeah, man. She thinks she and everybody has the same thing. But tell her not bring no porn business or porn chat for us, man. You're germs, man. See? The lane where you live by your road and the road them before that, like 10 road before that and 10 road after that. The one of them, man, they, when them go to toilet, them say, yo, your tongue of the tissue, man. Don't come by when you want no tissue tongue by your sister. Keep it to yourself, man. Yeah? Keep it to yourself. All right, we done chat. Me there, yeah? Lonesome. We never put them in, no. We never put them around here, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, one man, when we are talk, man, them don't stop around here because we not play with them. You understand? Manley Ja favor. And that me say. Lonesome me out, yeah? Bless. Cool. Them can't trick me around here. All them accountable people. Me there, bless.